For watching The Voice in the Wilderness. The Voice in the Wilderness is the political commentary segment of the Enterprising Converzations channel. As you would know, our core business is enterprise development and training. Now, why are we talking about political matters? The answer is simple. Politics is too important to be left to politicians alone. Today, I am tackling the prospect of South Africa doing business with Elon Musk. At what cost? South Africa needs investment to deal with the high unemployment and the twin evils of poverty and inequality. These persisting evils. But the issue is, at what cost must the country do this? As a channel that deals with enterprise development and training, we are the last people to take a negative posture towards potential investment that can create jobs. But I've got this conviction that we need to examine investment that comes into the country very critically. There is a disturbing trend in South African media, to normalize figures like Elon Musk and Donald Trump as mere businessmen and politicians. Not even the United States normalizes these two controversial figures. The way South African media outlets such as your Biz News, State of the Nation, Mike Shem, they normalize these figures rather than recognizing them for what they truly are. These controversial figures are right-wing extremists who exploit racial divisions for power and profit. While black political figures like Malema and the likes of Robert Mugabe are rightly, and I say rightly, underline that, scrutinized for extremism, Musk and Trump escape that kind of condemnation, despite sharing the same hate-mongering tactics as the likes of Julius Malema and the late Robert Mugabe. The only difference, Musk and Trump are too powerful and they've got a lot of money and they are white. These are men who wield their white supremacist ideologies with far greater and global consequences. They wield their power to devastating effects. Let's look at some of the human rights violations that Elon Musk has committed, which of course might come as a surprise to you because they have not been given a lot of mileage in the media. But it doesn't change the fact that these human rights violations have been committed. The actions of these men, Donald Trump and Musk, do count. I've heard ignorant opinion leaders in South Africa saying we must call Donald Trump to come and rescue us in South Africa as black people. I don't know in which planet some of us are living in, to be honest. That sounds to me like a hyena calling out on the lion. Actually, it sounds like the antelope, excuse me for that, calling a lion to come and rescue it from a hyena attack. It just doesn't make sense. It beats me. Elon Musk is not just a controversial billionaire. He's a man whose actions have led to immense human suffering. And this is not a creation of my own imagination. There are hard facts that point to this. This is a right-wing extremist who harbors hatred, who weaponizes his social media, X, former Twitter, to supercharge extreme right-wing ideology, extreme racial hatred online. Let's look at one of the actions that Musk has embarked upon when he was leading the so-called DOGE Department of Government Efficiency in the United States. What did he do? He dismantled the Diversity, Equity and Inclusion program in the US. He is known for extreme treatment of immigrants. Yes, we don't want illegal immigration in South Africa because, but those are still people. They must still be treated like people. No two ways about it. But Musk and Donald Trump have meted out the worst treatment to people who don't look like them. At the same time, whilst importing fake refugees into their country simply because they've got a white skin color. That is part of what they call a white replacement theory. Right wingers in the US have got this theory. What do you call it? They've got this imaginary worldview that there's a conspiracy to replace white people with people of color in the United States. That's their fear. They want to make sure that whites remain in Americans remains predominantly white. That is their ultimate fear. Now, Musk is not only advocating and treating illegal immigrants unfairly. He gutted the USAID funding with deadly repercussions. Reports indicate that his decision to slash aid contributed to the death of hundreds of thousands of people. Go and check this out. Don't measure the impact of the actions of Musk and Trump by what you see in South Africa. South Africa, USAID PEPFAR accounted for 17%. It's still a great deal. But in other countries, the aid that the United States was giving to those countries meant life and death. It was the only thing that those poorer countries, mostly in Africa, were relying on. The only meal that they could ever look forward to having. The only medical treatment that they could ever look forward to in order to stay alive. Bill Gates himself noted the irony of this whole thing. During a CNN interview, Bill Gates observed that the richest man in the world is taking food from the poorest children in the world. The richest, with billions of rands that can feed many countries for many months. Elon Musk decimated the support, life-sustaining support that was badly needed by some of the poorest nations in the world. Yet, despite this, Musk has faced no real accountability. Even when he was forced to backtrack on criticism of Trump. You remember when he was, just lately when they had a fallout with Trump, when he was criticizing the one big, beautiful bill. And Musk recently walked back his criticism of Trump. And for the first time, Musk said he believes he had gone too far in criticizing Trump. But here is what Musk has never done. Musk has never shown remorse for causing, and is still causing, his actions are still causing hundreds of thousands of lives, mostly children, around the world. And he did not only decimate, or in his own words, he did not only feed the USAID into the wood chipper, he was enjoying and celebrating it in a very sadistic way, in a way that you could see that this man is not well, is mentally disturbed. If you were his closest friend, really, and you would invite him to church, because something is very wrong with the man when you look at him closely. This is what you will not get from the South African media. He's a respectable man, according to this white media that is largely owned by whites in South Africa. Sorry to say that, but it's reality. We must call it for what it is. Yet, despite this, Musk has not faced any real accountability, even when forced to backtrack on his criticism of Trump. He only apologized to Trump, not apologized for the policies that he was helping Trump to implement. The Western media, ever lenient on white elites, has failed to hold him to the same standard as other extremists in the world. And we have seen the same thing here in South Africa. Biz News and your State of the Nation still lend credence to men such as Donald Trump and Elon Musk, as if they are ordinary leaders. They are not ordinary leaders. They are responsible for very monstrous actions. This is in keeping with the stereotype that everything white is good and everything is black. We don't need it. I'm not a racist. That's why I will never vote for Malema. That's why I will never praise Mugabe, despite many people regarding him as a hero. Hatred. I will never follow politics that are based on hatred. I feel that is the most unwise thing you can do. You cannot judge a person by skin color. You must judge them by the content of their character. Now here at home, our predominantly white-owned media continues to sanitize Musk and Donald Trump's image, portraying him as a visionary rather than a threat. Meanwhile, figures like DA leader John Steenhuisen, do you remember during the White House meeting, when John Steenhuisen was being interviewed here, I think it was ENCA, he was being interviewed about the White House meeting. What did John Steenhuisen say? He was portraying Donald Trump as a very wise man. A man who associates with white extremism. A man who was wildly peddling lies, falsehoods about this country. What if Donald Trump was a black person? What if Elon Musk was a black person? Imagine what the media could have been saying. This John Steenhuisen praising Donald Trump, a man widely regarded sections of the Western media, those that associate with progressive politics, and even opinion makers, half of the United States. They are ashamed to have Donald Trump as their leader. But here in South Africa, the likes of Donald Trump and Elon Musk are celebrated, as the whole world, even the Western world in Europe and everywhere else, as the Western world and the entire globe is boycotting Tesla and some of Elon Musk's businesses. In South Africa, the white-owned media still celebrate men like Donald Trump. They can do no wrong because white is good and black is evil. Worse still, Musk has actively harmed South Africa. His unfounded racist allegations against this country, his country of birth actually, have fueled racial tensions here in South Africa. We have never come close to racial division than we have recently because of his lies. He has justified punitive sanctions against South Africa, the defunding of programs like PEPFAR that support HIV, AIDS, and health studies. They've been defunded based on the lies that Musk has been whispering in Donald Trump's ear. This being done to try and impose white supremacy in South Africa, because that's what Donald Trump and Elon Musk stand for. They are exporting their brand of white supremacy. Even Musk engaging in Nazi salute. Do you see the white media in South Africa focusing on that? The likes of State of the Nations, Mike Shem's State of the Nations, and your Biz News. No. According to them, these are respectable men. These are men to look forward to. They are not looked at critically. I'm not saying we must disregard the fact that they are leaders. There are forces that you cannot ignore. But honestly, as much as we are critical of our own leaders in South Africa, our leaders don't come anywhere close to Donald Trump. Look at his role, Elon Musk's role in promoting the Afrikaner refugee myth. We have had to answer for useless and nonsensical allegation against our country, with the effect that South Africans became divided. National unity and reconciliation was set back. We see the re-emergence, the resurgence of the right wing in South Africa. We see those who are opposed to changes, creating an inclusive society, raising their heads, even calling for the cessation of the Western Cape. But let's look now at some of the risks that Musk poses. I mean, should we decide to do business with this man, and God forbid, security and ethical risks. Beyond ethics, Musk poses a security risk. His ventures, including the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, have been accused of mishandling citizens' private data, allowing his companies to come into South Africa. Isn't just a moral compromise, it's a potential national security threat. We want investment, South Africa, but at what cost? We don't need Musk's investment at the expense of our values. Musk's business practices and politics are the antithesis of Batupili, people first, Ubuntu, that we subscribe to as a nation. His disdain for empowerment and inclusive policies, the same ones that he helped to dismantle in the United States, makes him incompatible with our economic vision and the vision for an equal non-racial South Africa, non-sexist South Africa. It is unthinkable that our government would consider bending BEE laws to accommodate him, allowing Musk to do business. I mean, the man is not stable. The man is said to be peddling and using drugs. And my fear is that once he is allowed to go around BEE laws, what is going to be next? I know some of you would challenge me and say, can we defy the United States? Yes, we can. There are ways. I mean, Elon Musk is Donald Trump's whisperer. Donald Trump whisperer. If they make up and reconcile, he might still go and influence Donald Trump in a negative way. But fortunately, we can use Parliament. Parliament can just put its foot down and say, we can't. If he's allowed, he must be given very stringent conditions. South Africa has taken Israel to the ICC for human rights violations. the ANC government. How sensible is it going to be for a government that has taken Israel to the ICC to allow another human rights violator? Closer to whom? A man who was born in South Africa, who has caused the death of hundreds of thousands of people by dismantling the only life-sustaining program that they had. This is a man who has brought South Africa on the brink of racial disharmony. I mean, his behavior in South Africa has been treasonous. There's no other way to call it. So we must think twice, because if we allow Musk, if we concede to Musk's demand, a white supremacist who is not well, what else are we going to... He'll keep on shifting the goalposts, because remember, this is a man who has got disdain for anything that South Africa stands for. He's a racist to the core. He supports the AFD, a very right-wing, a party that looks up to Hitler. He is a racist. He's an anti-Semite, whether some AfriForum, members of AfriForum want to acknowledge it or not. He stands for everything that is opposed to what South Africa, what we are trying to build South Africa into. So that is my take. Engage me on the comment section. Please like and share the video, because that's what gives us the strength to carry on. Your like, if you like this content, your subscription, which is free, means a lot to us. Thank you for watching The Voice in the Wilderness. This is Rendani. See you during the next episode.